If you've spent any time comparing countertop pizza ovens for a busy kitchen, you know how quickly the specs can blur together: BTS, deck sizes, recovery times, until you're left wondering which one actually fits your workflow without turning into a second job. I've looked at the Omcan 11387 Conveyor commercial restaurant countertop pizza baking oven TS7000, and after digging into what it's really like to run this thing day in and day out, I can tell you where it shines and where it might leave you scratching your head. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This isn't a home oven you'll use once a week for personal pies. It's built for volume. Think pizzerias, ghost kitchens, or high-volume catering setups where you need consistent output without babysitting every bake. The conveyor belt means you slide dough in on one end and out comes a finished pizza on the other, which is a game-changer when you're pushing 50 pies an hour and don't have the staff to rotate trays manually. The temperature range goes up to 700 F, so you can dial in Neapolitan-level char or keep things steady for New York style at 550 F. That kind of flexibility matters if you're serving multiple styles in the same shift. Now, the footprint isn't trivial. At just over 3 feet deep and nearly 2 feet wide, it's not something you'll tuck under a shelf or slide between prep tables. You'll need dedicated counter space, and you'll want to measure your aisle clearance because the belt sticks out the back. If your kitchen is already tight on real estate, this might not be the move. Also, keep in mind that the restocking fee applies unless the unit is defective, so if it arrives DOA or the belt jams on day one, you're on the hook for return shipping unless it's a true factory defect. That's worth factoring into your decision if you're ordering sight unseen. Where this oven earns its keep is in labor savings. Instead of juggling peel rotations and timing batches, you load, bake, unload, and repeat. The conveyor speed is adjustable, so you can tweak bake times based on dough thickness and toppings without rewriting your entire process. If you've ever burned a pizza because you got distracted or undercooked a batch because you lost track of the timer, the consistency here is a relief. It's the kind of tool that pays for itself faster in a busy kitchen than in a home setup. That said, it's not a set-and-forget machine. You'll still need to monitor dough prep. Thin spots or heavy toppings can cause uneven baking, and the belt itself can get sticky if you're not careful with sauce placement. Cleaning is straightforward but not trivial. The belt and interior need regular wiping to prevent residue buildup, and the manual mentions checking the motor and belt tension periodically. If you're used to a deck oven where you can scrape and season the stone, this conveyor system demands a different kind of maintenance routine. If you're running a small CAF or a weekend pop-up, this is overkill. A deck oven or even a high-end home unit will cover your needs without the space commitment. But if you're scaling up, whether that's a food truck expanding to a storefront, a commissary kitchen adding a pizza line, or a restaurant adding a quick-service pizza station, this conveyor setup can keep up with demand without the burnout of manual labor. It's the kind of purchase where the value isn't in the flashy specs but in the hours it frees up every week. Before you pull the trigger, double-check your electrical setup. The power draw is significant, so make sure your circuit can handle it without tripping breakers. And if you're used to the forgiving nature of a home oven, the learning curve here is real. You'll need to dial in your recipes and timing, but once you do, the output is hard to beat. If this fits your operation, it's a solid investment in consistency and throughput. If not, there are smaller, simpler options that won't tie up your floor space or your budget. Either way, make sure you're solving the right problem before you commit. Check the link in the description if you want to dig into the details and see if it's the right fit for your kitchen.